magic, magic. And I think, hello, hello. It is working. We are good to go. All right. So while we're waiting for final tech over there, let me just let you know before we start what I'm here to talk to you about today. I want to talk about changes in your language learning, when to make changes, how to make changes, how do you know it's the right time, what do you do, how do you approach that, right? Like, do you just throw everything out the window and start again, blank page? Or is it a little easier than that? It doesn't have to be just this big whoosh every single time. You know, like in a film where you see them sweep everything off the desk. I never understand that. Like, I would hate to do that. Imagine the clear up. But we're going to talk about that today, right? So, first of all, I want to let you know this time next week, like literally this time next week, is going to be happening. I am hosting an exclusive live training for applicants of Language Life. So if you've applied for Language Life in the past, you'll have heard from me this past week. If you haven't, then now is the time, because next week I'm hosting a live training just for Language Life applicants, all about the one thing that all language learners need to do today. And it's like just such a huge opener. It's such a big change to how so many of us approach language learning, and it honestly has the power to really make a big, big shift. So we're going to talk about that next week, but you do need to be signed up, and you can do so at lindsaydoeslanguages.com/apply. Apply there for Language Life, and you'll get your link to join me next Monday as well. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be good fun. But today I wanted to talk to you, and I can see some of you here on Instagram that already are signed up and ready to go, which is very exciting. But I wanted to talk to you about when to make a change and how to approach that change when it comes to your language learning. How do you know, like, when things are kind of stale, not as good as they could be, right? So I've got 5 kind of scenarios that could be going on that you may identify with, and 5 solutions for how you can approach that change, right? So, hey, hello. First one, bored. When you are feeling bored, when you are feeling kind of like meh about your language learning, when it's not sparking that fun, it's not inspiring, it's not fun, it's not playful, you're kind of bored with it, that is a really good indicator that it's time to make a change in your language learning. And honestly, if that's where you are right now, if you are feeling that kind of like sense of just boredom, of like, I'm kind of, not enjoying what I'm doing, I'm not enjoying the kind of approach that I'm taking right now, then it's really about making it fun again, right? Making your language learning fun to just get you out of that boredom. And now, this is not to say, right, that like you have to suddenly ditch all the grammar, boo, anti-grammar. Like, that's not it. It's not like, boo, throw away all your resources, they're rubbish. That's not it either. It's really just about thinking, how can you inject little pockets of fun? How can you play with what you're already doing and using and make that more enjoyable, right? So you may have, like, you have to do a grammar thing, you have some grammar exercises that you got to do. How can we play with that? How can we make that fun? And more often than not, it's really simply a case of thinking about like the approach that we're taking as we kind of use resources, right? So like, are you thinking, okay, I have to use this book, sat down at the desk and with a pen and paper, and like, I have to be ready to go? Or are you thinking, okay, that in itself is kind of stifling me, that's kind of blocking my creativity with it. Instead, I want to just like make it feel a bit more chill, a bit more relaxed. Maybe that means that you're cooking dinner and you're holding the book in your hand and you're going through some of those exercises, right? You're just making it much more casual, and so it feels less pressured, you're less bored with it then, right? So that's one thing to think about. How can you make it fun? And it's going to be so different for every learner, every kind of situation that you're in. So really think about what that looks like for you. The second thing is when you're stressed. Language learning should be fun. It should make you feel good. And if it's making you feel stressed, there's something kind of in the works there that we can play around with, that we can adjust and that we can make better, right? So if language learning or an element of your language learning is making you stressed, how can we make it easy? How can we make it just easy breezy, take away the stress? What is it? What's creating that friction? Because 9 times out of 10, it's something that we can alter. It's something that we have some kind of control over. And they're the things that then we can change. We can adjust so that it does begin to feel just, easy and chilled out again, rather than kind of building up the friction, causing us that stress, right? So that's the second thing to think about. How can we make it easy if you're beginning to feel stressed? Number 3, scattered. When you feel just like everything is everywhere, you've got resources all over the place, you've done a bit of that chapter in that book over there, but you've also spent a lot of time with this vocab course over here, and the stuff that you do with your tutor is totally different, and does any of this fit together? Right? It's all just all over the place, right? All very scattered. This is now a time to think, right, how can we bring in some focus here? How can we, draw this all together and make it feel very cohesive and like something that is all connected and all building towards that same goal? And that is really a case for what we can do here. So I'm thinking about maybe the stuff that you do in your book with your own time and your own resources, that stuff, maybe you write some sentences using like a grammar point that you've learned, you bring that into your lesson, you share that stuff with your teacher so that it's all beginning to connect and there's some kind of joint focus beginning to come into play, right? Very, very important if you're feeling just totally scattered and all over the place. Number 4, when you're feeling guilty, this is like such a big indicator for change. If you're feeling this kind of level of guilt or shame about your language learning and you're feeling like just, oh, I'm not doing enough, I'm not doing it well enough, I'm not using this resource as well as I should, I'm not booking as many lessons as I should, I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that like I should. You see the key word here, should. When this word is like coming into your head a lot, it's kind of an indicator of like, okay, time to say goodbye to these shoulds, time to get rid of this guilt and this shame associated with language learning, because this should feel good, right? And this is where we want to think about making our language learning healthy, like building a much healthier approach to your language learning so that it does become enjoyable. It does become like just chill, and everything that we've said, fun and easy and focused. And if you are feeling kind of the guilt and the shame, it's a really, really good indicator that it's a time to make change. Number 5, and this is the final one, sporadic, right? When everything is kind of sporadic and like maybe you like have really, really good week and you do something every day, you keep up your streak on the app, and then everything just goes awry the next week. It's like all over the place, right? You've probably been here, right? When you're feeling sporadic, one of the best things you can do to make a change there is to set a habit. And I say a habit because it really, really, I'm a strong believer that it doesn't have to be like, okay, my language learning is sporadic, I am going to make like all the habits, I'm going to change everything in one go. Like, that's not going to work. It's going to be far too much. It's just not going to stick. So there's no point in us saying to ourselves, like you see this every year, right? With like New Year's resolutions where people are like, yeah, okay, I'm ready. I am going to make all the changes to my life. This is going to be my best year ever. I'm going to learn 17 languages and I'm going to do 5 hours every single day. Like 7th of January, crickets. Nothing's happening because it was too much. We went from kind of sporadic to like uber impossible focus and just not sustainable. So when we're thinking that everything is a bit sporadic, we need to think, how can I make a habit, just one habit to get me started? And that's the change that you need to then build upon, right? So that one habit could be something so simple. It could be you wake up in the morning, you write down one sentence in the language you're learning, or you do it before you go to bed at night. These are the 2 easiest places to add in a new habit, right? Because whatever goes on in the rest of your day, right? Even if you have crazy work hours, even if you are just feeling constantly tired when you get in from college or from university or from school or work or whatever, You're going to wake up and you're going to go to sleep, right? And you know so much better than I do when your strengths are. Is it in the morning? Is it in the evening? Is it at night, right? You know that for yourself. So you get to decide, where is that one change, that one habit that you're going to ground yourself in to just take away that feeling of sporadicness, so you can make a change towards then making other changes, right? Not all at once. It's craziness. So yeah, that is what I wanted to share with you. Just that if you felt any of these things, it's kind of feeling bored, feeling stressed, feeling scattered, feeling guilty, feeling sporadic with your language learning, then you know it's a good time to make a change. And if you're feeling any of them now, it is a very good time to join me next week. Apply for Language Life and the exclusive live training that I'm going to be hosting next Monday, this time, in fact, next week. And it's going to be good. We're going to be talking about the one thing that all language learners need to do today. It's amazing. It's like I feel almost guilty sharing it with you because it's so simple, but it's so huge as well, right? We're going to be talking about that. And yeah, it's going to be good fun. So if you haven't already, do visit lindsaylovelanguages.com/apply, and you can apply there, and I will review your application as soon as possible and send you the live link for Monday. It's going to be good. And yeah, that is pretty much it for me today. If you have any questions, do feel free to reach out. You can send me a DM wherever you're watching this and I will get back to you as soon as possible. And yeah, I'm looking forward to reading your application. lindsaylovelanguages.com/apply, and I will speak to you very soon. All right. Thank you. Bye. Bye.